Hello everyone and welcome back to Agent Nagash, which is a channel dedicated to Age of Sigmar. And in this video we're going to look at the second article by Warhammer Community talking about the General's Handbook 2020. Now this is obviously their pre-order previews they're doing leading up this week, and in this one it's going to be talking about match play. Now I haven't read it prior to this video, similar to the last video, just so I can sort of capture my sort of excitement and my surprise, if there is anything, to do that while I'm reading it to you. Okay, so first things first, it says a new season of match play dawns with the latest General's Handbook. This year's essential annual for gamers promises your most balanced and competitive battles yet, from tweaked picture battle profiles to new missions, realm rules and more. Today we're looking at some headline changes to help you prepare, so all good there. And then the first bit, getting into it, it says new points. So as with all of the previous General's Handbooks, the 2020 includes a set of pitch battle profiles, key data on how many points your units cost, their unit sizes and so on. So everything we're used to expect from General's Handbooks. It then says they've been by our team in line with playtester feedback, tournament results and internal testing. Now the only thing I would say about that is Hedonite Sinesh was play tested, Terrorgeist was play tested, Change Host was play tested, also, you know, Petra Elite was play tested, but all of those seem to have came out a little bit broken, so a little bit skeptical on that, but hopefully they're going to fix it, so that's fine. Right, okay, and then it says make sure to check these out in detail. Some favourites may now take up a bigger slot in your list, while other options have gone down in points. And it says looking at you Liberators and future Blight Kings. So a clue there that Liberators and Blight Kings are going to go down. And then it says, and they may be just the thing for your next tournament win list. Okay, so they're saying that because the point changes, you know, you may come up with a new list and it may win you your tournaments. And yeah, so I think, you know, we can see things that are going to go up, like I'm going to say Keepers of Secrets, I'm going to say Terrorgeists. Be interesting to do, well, to see what they do with Bone Reapers, because I think Bone Reapers are well pointed. However, if you take them in Petra Elite, they just immediately become better. So maybe a points change for those units in Petra Elite. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. And then it says, like in last year's editions, we'll be ensuring that armies released after the General's Handbook went to print. That's everything since Cities of Sigmar will have their match play profiles updated for free with a set of downloads in the very near future. Cool, so that just means that if a new battle tome comes out after this one, let's say the Giants come out with their battle tome, you're not going to have to wait for, you know, a new General's Handbook and then buy it to get their new updated points or something like that. So yeah, that's cool, that's what we expect. Right, and then it says a win your way. So Warhammer Age of Sigmar offers a match play gamers a vast diversity of playstyles and army builds, from defensive oriented gun lines to ultra elite monster mashes and covens of magic slinging sorcerers. Auxiliary objectives are the new set of secondary goals that you choose before battle. Secure more of them than your opponent and any draw will be changed to a minor victory for you. Okay, so a couple of things here. For me, they sound like these are going to replace the I believe they're called secret hidden agendas, or just hidden agendas might have been what they're called, what was used at tournaments, which was like secondary objectives. And they're also going to place the way of how you win a minor victory, which is often by, if you draw on victory points, whoever killed the most points wins, which has been a steadfast in Age of Sigmar for since the first General's Handbook, really, if not maybe a bit before that. So yeah, that's interesting. I quite like that, because actually, it looks like they're going to explain it a bit further down here, so we'll see that. But sometimes when you come against armies you're not expecting, or at a tournament, sometimes you can look across the board and try not to get too disheartened, but you just know it's a bad matchup for you, and the best thing you can hope for is a minor victory, but the enemy's probably got a good chance of killing more units than you have in this scenario. So having a different way to do it, by, you know, essentially having like a bit of a tick box to go, if I complete this mini thing here and there, you can win. Well, I say win, I mean you can get, you know, a minor victory. So anyway, let us read into how they actually explain it. So let's say your army is super fast. The invader objective is ideal for you. So let's have a look at the invader. So invader, you complete this auxiliary objective if at the end of the battle you have more friendly units wholly within your opponent's territory than your opponent has wholly within your territory. Cool. So if you've got, very fast units, all that sort of thing, yeah, nice. If you've got, many units in your army as well, that helps. So the next one they say is prefer surgical aggression. Marked for death rewards you for slaying an enemy unit. So marked for death, it says when you reveal this auxiliary objective, your opponent must pick one unit in their starting army that is not a hero. You complete this auxiliary objective if that unit is destroyed before the end of the battle. So, example, you're fighting against Nighthaunt, you say this is one of my auxiliary objectives, and then your opponent with Nighthaunt army might go, right, okay, kill these 40 Chainmass Horde, make it a bit harder, something like that. But like I say, by the sounds of things, it's just giving you those. If you feel like it's going to be a really hard game for you to win precisely, or towards the end of the game it's not going so well, what can you do to change it? You have got these things you can pull out to try and get something back, which I am a big fan of, rather than making the game just feel one-sided sometimes. Okay, it then says knowing the battle plan will still be key to victory in the Mortal Realms, but now you'll have a chance to tailor your objectives to your favourite strategy. I like that. I'm interested to read this for myself. If this is the only info they're going to give on it, I look forward to getting the General's Handbook and reading it for myself. But at the moment, that sounds good. I'm a fan of that. It's a nice new change. Okay, so it then talks about the realms. So new realm rules. One of the most exciting changes in the last edition of Warhammer Age Sigmar was the realm or battle rules for each of the mortal realms, which provided players with a vast suite of in-game effects and artifacts. In the latest General's Handbook, these rules have been streamlined for ease of use and distinctiveness and balanced for match play, ensuring that each realm has its own flavour while minimising the time you'll spend flicking through various rulebooks and rolling on tables. That's cool. I can honestly say before the Age of Sigmar gaming book, I believe it was called, what I did a video on, came out, you're just taking too many books to your games. It was like, I don't play too much 40k. I didn't play 40k when it used to be. You bring all your books, but that's very much what Age of Sigmar feel like it's getting to. So I'm happy with that, and I think you know more what you're going to get in your games. Like I say, try and make it more balanced than, let's say, your army relies purely on shooting, and in how Age of Sigmar currently plays and how it's going to stop playing when this new General's Handbook comes out. So currently, if you're playing the Realm of Shadows and you've got your army very much depends on shooting, there's a realm effect for your shooting to be narrowed down to 12 inches or something, or 9 inches maybe. And let's say your shooting thing can normally shoot 30 inches. Now you may think oh, that's great, to sort of if you're fed up with fighting against shooting armies, yeah. But if a shooting army's only thing is shooting, and now they can't do that, it's just a real pain in the arse for them. So yeah, I can see that being more competitive and just balance. And I don't just mean shooting. I mean there's lots of different things. There was one, if you fly, you can take mortal wounds as well. What happens if you're playing a Nighthaunt army? Everything flies. Cool. It then says battles in Uglu. So the realm of shadows. So for instance, are tense and unpredictable. Wizards gain access to a truly nasty spell. Overgrown terrain everywhere. Severely curtails shooting. Okay, so funny enough, kind of the point I was just talking about, but but that I'm hoping it'll be more fair. Okay, and then it says, and commanders are able to quickly pull units out of combat with a tricksy command ability. That's interesting. So a change on the retreat mechanic for them. So as an example here, they've given us the Realm of Battle, Uglu, the Realm of Shadows rule set. So let us have a read through it, and I imagine this is going to be a a cookie cutter for what we can expect for how they're going to lay out the realm rules for every other realm as well. Okay, so it says following the Realm of Battle rules are used for match play battles fought in the mortal realm of Uglu. Is it Ugu? Ugu? Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It just sounds like some sort of chocolate. And then it says also known as the Realm of Shadow. So what you're going to get here by the looks of things, so you get a spell, The Realmscape feature, which is no longer a list of 6 things, it's just our one thing every time. Makes it easier to plan, which I am a fan of, and spends less time mucking around. You then have the artifacts, so instead of having, I think it was 12 you could pick from, there's like a weapon and then like an enchantment or something, so I think there was at least 6 to 12 you could pick for artifacts. Now you only have one. And then you have the command ability. So let's go into it, and I will talk about the narrative, as this is an article and I'm not going through all of them. Let's just talk about the narrative to have some of that in it. So it says a realm smear magic, judgment of shadow. The shadows of Ruglu come alive, and they hunger. By speaking 13 whispered words of power, one for each of the realm's great dominions, a caster can bid the darkness to swallow up their enemies. So Judgment of Shadow has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 12 inches of the caster that is visible to them, and roll 7 dice. For each roll that is less than that unit's unmodified save characteristic, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If the target has a unmodified save characteristic of dash, it suffers 1 mortal wound for each 2+ instead. Okay, so this is good against things without good saves, essentially. And if it hasn't got a save, it's not an automatic 7 mortal wounds. But no, that's quite good. Not the most powerful spell, but I think that's still quite solid, depending on what you find, obviously. Okay, so the next one we have is the Realmscape feature. So Penumbral Lands, something like that. So the all-consuming shadows of Uglu can obscure even the mightiest foes' advance, as many unwary warriors have discovered to their cost. So it says terrain features, including faction terrain, so that's important, has the overgrown scenery rule, in addition to any other scenery rule that they have. I'm really struggling trying to remember what the overgrown scenery rule is. Haven't played for so long. I think that is -1 to your run and charge rolls, I think, or it maybe affects your shooting. One of the two. That's what I think anyway. And then you've got your realm artifact. So this is the Trickster's Foil. So this phantasmal weapon is never quite where it appears to be, and as such it is capable of inflicting truly horrific wounds on the unprepared. So it allows you can reroll wound rolls of 1 for attacks made with melee weapons by the bearer. Unless this is a very specific hero you have in mind, there's not a great artifact. Okay, and then the command ability is On Me. So the champion imposes their will on nearby allies, commanding them to reform amidst the enshrouding darkness of Uglu. So you can use this command ability once per battle at the end of your movement phase. If you do so, pick one friendly unit wholly within 18 inches of a friendly hero, remove that unit from the battlefield, and then set it up again wholly within 6 inches of that friendly hero, and more than 9 inches away from enemy units. That's cool. Almost reminds me of the thing the Nighthaunt can do. That could be very good for not just retreating out of combat, but generally just getting to objectives and stuff. Could be helping with movement. And something I find interesting here is it's not wholly within 18 inches of a hero that is the general, or within 9 inches of a normal hero. It's just for any hero, so that's quite cool. They specified that. That's a very tactical one. That's useful. So yeah, they say the realm artifacts from Line Sorcery have also been replaced with a smaller, tighter list. You'll be able to choose thematic or realm specific options, but now you'll also be encouraged to branch out and look at your own army artifacts lists, rather than always having to compare them to a Aether Quartz brooch. Okay, so basically how they're saying that is the artifacts from the realms are no longer going to be really powerful. I just hope that they're still going to be good. I mean, this one does not. If this is how they're doing it, and each realm only gets 1, and you can pick that if you're from that realm. Reroll wound rolls are 1. It's like most army battle tomes have something as good or better than that, which is cool because then it makes you, like I said, thematically go back to your battle tome. But for the there are some armies who in their battle tome they have much better artifacts than some other armies. So I feel like some armies are going to not really be too affected by this, and in some watch maybe better effective because the enemy can no longer take these very strong blind sorcery artifacts. But some armies that don't have very good options in their own battle tome are going to struggle, I would say. A dragon I can think of who's going to suffer from this has a vampire that rides it, and that's going to be a vampire lord and zombie dragon with no longer a Ethereal artifact. So yeah, the Ethereal amulet is going to be gone, so that'll be interesting for that. I haven't ran that on my zombie dragon for a while, so kind of feel like I'm prepared for it. But anyway, okay, moving on to the next thing, which is also the last thing about things. And apologies if I was pronouncing Uglu wrong, because then that would be Ugu. Oh, it might be Olgu. I don't know if I've been pronouncing it wrong. I can imagine it's been horrible, but I don't care. Okay, so the last thing is new meeting engagements. I'll be honest, I've never played meeting engagements, but I'll read it anyway. So, what's more, the General's Handbook includes updates for meeting engagements. Warhammer Age of Sigmar's dedicated 1,000 point rule set. If you're not tried meeting engagements, you're missing out. This is a fast-paced mode of play turns. Traditionally, strategy on its head challenges you in every phase of the game and only requires half the models to paint and play. With more battle plans to try and rules for team battles of meeting engagements using the Coalition of Death rules, which we looked at the last video, this promises to be a great way to spice up your usual battles. Okay, so I said I've never played meeting engagements. But the thing what I like about meeting engagements is that I believe you can only take a 1 war scroll of each unit in your army. I might be wrong about that, but it limits the multiple units of the same war scroll you can take, which is good because in match play, competitive tournament play, most armies just spam a unit, and it's just the best unit they have in the army. They tend to spam it, and then whatever is not that unit in their army is heroes or something there to buff that spammed unit. So I do like the idea of that, as it makes you take more variety of the army, makes you look at other things we thought about before, so that's cool. And if you've got much space to play, anything else, it's more reasonable to do. Okay, and then the very last thing they say is, and more, you'll have to get your own copy of the General's Handbook to see all the changes to match play for yourself. We're not done with previews yet, however, check back tomorrow for a look at the new hero creation system. Okay, very excited about that, because I've talked about that, I think, in the last video as well, about creating your hero, great for narrative play. So, in summary, what have we learned from this? We've learned about auxiliary objectives, I believe they're called, if I remember rightly. And new point, we knew they didn't need to do a paragraph here on new points. We knew that's kind of what General's Handbooks. Firstly, back in the day, that's basically what they were there for, just for the new points, not everything else. Okay, so new points we knew, auxiliary objectives, realm rules, and just looking. Yeah, so new meeting engagements. Okay, so I did just read that last paragraph, but realistically they didn't really tell you anything about it. They just said meeting engagements are still going to be a thing. So what we have learned from this is two things. We've learned auxiliary objectives and realm of battles and how that's going to change, and also also ties in malign sorcery and artifacts and spells. Another good thing I just want to say about this, what I believe is that, like I said, artifacts, I think overall could be a good change, but some armies may suffer from it. The thing what I do like about it is now there's only one spell per realm, because before there was some realms with just 6 spells, and there was some with 8, I believe, and it was just really hard to try and keep up. And even doing a few tournament games, it's generally hard to remember what spells there are if the tournament doesn't limit what spells you can take from each realm. And some of the spells were just bonkers. There was one from the Realm of Fire, I believe, that was +1 to I think there was one that was either +1 to wounded damage or it was just +1 to damage. I think there was one +1 to charge and wound, and then there was one that was +1 to damage, which was just insane, because +1 to damage just effectively made any unit good. So, or the really powerful units even better. So I think that's a good change. And easy to stay on top of. So I'm a fan of that. And that very much looks like a card. So you could get... I can easily see these guys releasing, if it doesn't come... probably will come in the limited edition of the General's Handbook anyway, but I'm going to get it digital so I don't have to keep it after it comes out of date like I do with the last 3 General's Handbooks. I reckon they may do War Scroll cards for the realms. Would be cool if they did it separately from the limited edition. Right, guys, so that's everything. I think this video is a bit longer than the last one, but that's because I've delved into stuff a little bit more. But yeah, I hope you're excited about it. I am. I think there's some good hints here, but yet to see. There's still more stuff to look at, and realistically, until we actually get the book in our own hands, it's going to be hard to fully judge. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, and comment down below, as that does massively help the channel. It's absolutely free. If you'd like to support the channel a step further, feel free to check out my Patreon, where you can really help support the channel and keep it going, and also get some rewards as well. There'll be a link to that in the description. And a massive thank you to all my patrons who are absolutely amazing, and the patrons who have joined me lately. Really do appreciate your support. Absolutely. And please let me know in the comments what you think about the General's Handbook coming up. What are our thoughts so far? Obviously, we still have... They've confirmed one more preview, if not 2. I think it will just be the one more, if I'm honest, because it's a Friday tomorrow. You know, the day of creating this is a Thursday, so Friday tomorrow. They tend to not do them on the weekend, remembering correctly. So, yes, I think tomorrow will be our last look, and be interesting. So, like I say, guys, thank you very much for watching this. Remember, until next time, stay hygienic, clean your hands, stay safe, and remember, Nagash is all, and all is one in Nagash.